Well, it is finally a rainy day. We've been wondering where the rain was, and it is not hampering at all the big crowds that turn out for Halloween at Halloween Central, as we like to call it. This is Crescent Hills Hillcrest Avenue, just getting started here at 5 o'clock. Full of trick-or-treaters in the rain. The hours tonight are from 5 till 9. WHAS 11 photojournalist Aspen Hester bringing us this live view right here tonight.
And the festive Halloween street has a major reputation, of course, throughout Louisville for knowing how to put on a show. In the end, thousands of people will be out there tonight, and we will check in throughout this hour. Hillcrest wraps up at 9 tonight, and hopefully it's just going to be some light rain coming in a little bit later. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Connie Leonard.
And I'm Doug Proffitt. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine. Ben, you called it yesterday that we might get this window where trick-or-treating is going to be just fine in Kentuckiana. Where does that stand tonight?
Yeah, it might just be a little sprinkly out there. And thankfully, guys, you don't see a lot of puddles there on the sidewalks. This has been pretty light rain overall. Initially, we had that first batch of rain that moved in with some gusty winds. Now, the winds are a lot lighter as well. But just watch out for the kiddos out there with some lower visibility and some of the damp roads. And also the wet roads have been causing some issues on the roads here on Mobile Traffic Tracker. We've got the Waterson eastbound shut down just past Breckenridge Lane due to an accident there. So we've got some issues on the Waterson especially. There you see that light but at times steady rainfall, using the windshield wipers a bit here, but nothing heavy out there. The back edge of the rain heading towards Du Bois County, now past Evansville. So we just need that back edge to move through over the next few hours, and we're going to be looking a lot drier and drier and trending drier with that rain tapering off as we head into the evening time around sunset. We'll keep some clouds overnight and then we'll clear it out to sunshine tomorrow. Notice Futurecast looking better and better as we head hour by hour into the evening time, and it will stay mild with our temperatures in the 60s and eventually clearing out and some cooler conditions moving in. Also some sluggish traffic downtown, as you can see with the wet roads, but we're currently sitting in the 60s. That's about where our high temperatures will be for tomorrow. We've actually got a nice looking weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Ben. The developing story here tonight. Within the past hour, the jury and former Metro Police Detective Brett Hankison's federal retrial went home for the night. They'll be back in the morning for day 3 of deliberations. They did ask a major question today as they're working to reach that verdict.
The question deals with whether Breonna Taylor was alive when the former Metro Police Detective fired shots into her apartment in 2020. Isaiah Kim Martinez and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton have the update.
The Hail Mary by Brett Hankison's attorneys appears to have stuck in the jury's minds in day 2 of deliberations. Their first question, 10:40 a.m. Do we need to know whether Breonna Taylor was a living victim when Brett Hankison fired? It comes a day after defense attorneys' stunning statement saying Breonna Taylor's civil rights died with her, that Hankison fired his shots after she was already dead, killed by former Detective Miles Cosgrove. Specifically, they said in closing arguments, what evidence has the DOJ proved to you that Breonna Taylor was alive with freedom of movement?
Is that hard to hear? What are your thoughts on that?
It's painful because
Breonna Taylor's family frustrated by this argument.
when you're dealing with a situation where it was a botch warrant to begin with, that's like a slap in the face, like an insult to injury.
Earlier, Breonna Taylor's mom, Tamika Palmer, briefly talking to me before heading into the federal courthouse.
Gave it to God. That's all I can do right now.
For days, federal prosecutors have painted a picture of the unfathomable danger Hankison put Taylor and her neighbors in, saying neighbor Cody Etherton, quote, felt the drywall splatter on his face as the bullet whizzed by. If Brett Hankison suggests his shots didn't harm people, he is dead wrong, prosecutors told the jury. Defense attorney Don Malarczyk pushing back. His shots didn't hit anyone, not a single human being. No one. Boom, boom, boom. Malarczyk describes what Hankison testified as sounding like machine gun fire, putting his fellow officers at risk. The defense's argument, Hankison had 3 to 4 seconds to make a decision to save the lives of officers.
Right now, Isaiah joining us live at 6th and Broadway. And Isaiah, everyone's sensitive to a possible mistrial again after last time. Did the jury ask more than one question of the judge today?
Doug, it was just that one we talked about involving Breonna Taylor. Last year, we actually had 2 questions at this point. What that means, it's hard to tell, but I can tell you there are some real similarities between this trial and last one. Last trial did make it to day 3 of jury deliberation, so has this one. And the makeup of that jury, Doug, 6 men, 6 women, including 1 black man. That is the same makeup as last year as well. We'll be right back here tomorrow morning. Doug.
All right, thank you, Isaiah.
Well, right now, a mother is facing charges after her child died following a car crash this morning. LMPD said the crash happened around 5:30 at Newburgh Road and East Indian Trail. Police said Lily Pena rear-ended another car, causing hers to catch fire. The child was rescued from the burning vehicle and transported to Norton Children's Hospital, where they died. Pena is behind bars and charged with vehicular homicide and DUI.
And authorities in Bullitt County need your help tonight after an 18-year-old was found shot to death in Hillview of Bullitt County. The boy's body was found near the intersection of Hillview Boulevard and Norwood Way. His identity has not been released yet. Police believe the homicide is an isolated incident, saying there is no ongoing threat to the community. Anyone with information who can help Hillview police is urged to call them at the number on your screen. That's 502-955-6808.
An Elizabethtown man faced a judge today after being accused of killing 2 men and then burning down the house they were in. Police in E-Town arrested 45-year-old Dustin Caudill. They say Caudill confessed to shooting the 2 victims and then intentionally set a fire that broke out on Hennon Lane. Now, investigators say 41-year-old Blake France and 43-year-old Anthony Garrett had been shot and killed first before that house was set on fire. Witnesses reported seeing a gold pickup truck speeding away from the scene, which police found at a nearby motel. Surveillance video showed Caudill leaving the truck and throwing away a handgun. And personal belongings of the victims were recovered from Caudill's motel room. Now, he is facing several charges, including arson, murder and robbery. And take a look at this. Caudill had previously served time for murder. 30 years ago, when he was 15 years old, he killed his mother and brother in Meade County. This is 30-year-old footage from our archives showing the 15-year-old when he was taken into custody back in the 1990s. He was found guilty of 2 counts of murder and sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Today's the first day of 3 days for early voting in Kentucky, already drawing big crowds of voters lined up out the door in several parts of town.
Yeah, election officials across the state are urging voters to do their research before hitting the polls. It's why our Ian Hardwick joins us in the studio here to explain one decision that is about the voting and Amendment 1, Ian?
That's right, Connie. Amendment 1, if that passes, that would explicitly ban non-citizens from voting in Kentucky. Now, the Constitution already implies citizenship is required, but the extra language, that makes it more concrete. It's one of 2 amendments voters are already facing, as anyone can walk in now for early voting.
Yes, first time.
From 23-year-old first-time voters
I was a little bit nervous, I ain't gonna lie.
to those familiar with snapping on a voting bracelet.
There we go.
Now it's official.
I voted today.
Early in-person polls open Thursday across Kentucky with 2 more days of early voting ahead. Lines stretched outside the door at Bowman Field, an hour-and-a-half wait for some voters. It was shorter at Okolona Christian Church, where even if the line looked long, it only took about 30 minutes to make it through.
Everybody seemed to be working together to make it move fast.
But election officials worry 2 constitutional amendments could slow down voting. On Amendment 1, voters can decide if they want this line added to Kentucky's Constitution. Quote, no person who is not a citizen of the United States shall be allowed to vote in this state. A yes puts the language in, while a no vote keeps it out. Hugh Hobbs picked yes.
Pay your time and your just dues like everybody else. And then once you get your citizenship, then, okay, you have the right to vote. Yeah.
And Ashanti Olive went with no, though she thought it should have been more obvious what line was being added.
Because I didn't really know what I was gonna get myself into.
Kentucky's Constitution already implies citizenship is required to vote. However, the amendment would just solidify the law. With that and school funding Amendment 2 on the ballot, election officials say come prepared.
And the election officers can't help you with those. Those are, up to the voters to make their decision. And, there's a 4-minute policy.
A 4-minute time limit to vote they may enforce if lines get too long on Election Day.
And for anyone who already filled out their ballot and still needs to mail that in, you can drop those off at any polling location yourself early. Live in studio, I'm Ian Hardwitt.
Ian, thank you very much. More of our coverage on this today. Today, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear and the First Lady Brittany Beshear casting their votes early in Frankfort. The governor said it was great seeing so many Kentuckians taking advantage of early voting and encouraged everybody to come out and make their voices heard through their ballots.
It's exciting that it looks like more people will vote in Kentucky than have before. Right now, I think we've got to see whether more people are just voting early or more people are going to vote overall. But participation is so important. The more people who are voting, the better we can govern. So overall, it is a great thing, regardless of the outcome.
Presidential years always bring out the big crowds. Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams in Louisville casting his vote this morning. He urged all of Kentucky to take advantage of early voting, saying doing so isn't always partisan.
I'm voting early. The governor always votes early. Even Donald Trump is voting early. I believe Kamala Harris will as well. Early voting doesn't help Democrats or Republicans. It just helps the voters, and I hope all voters will utilize it.
As you see, we posted it for you right on your screen. There are 20 polling locations throughout Jefferson County. They're open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, this includes the Goodwill Opportunity Campus on Broadway, the Jeffersonian on Taylorsville Road, and the Arterburn, that's on 10 Pin Lane. Polling locations, again, are open 8 to 5 today, tomorrow, and Saturday. We've got a full list for you. Just go to our website, WHAS11.com.
And this year, voter turnout is expected to be much higher than usual. According to Secretary of State Michael Adams, numbers are already soaring. So far, in-person excused absentee voting is up 164% over the same period in 2022. Adams says, if possible, get out and vote early. If you wait until Election Day, you could experience longer than normal waits at the polls. The downtown clerk's office is closed for 3 days because of early voting. Employees will be working at polling places for the next 3 days, and you can visit another location for help or call the number on your screen, 502-569-3300. For a full list of locations, again, just head right now and cast your vote. To cast your vote, just head to WHAS11.com. Our voter guide includes what you can expect on the ballot, which you can access right from your phone.